Hey, what's going on, my Analyze crew? We're going to take a look into the Steam Next Fest. So during the summer Steam Next Fest, a lot of different demos came out, and these are the different ones that I tried out that I thought were pretty interesting to maybe add to your wish list for the future. The first one on the list is the Mermaid Mask. This one is actually the sequel to the Detective Grimoire series. The last one was the Tangle Tower, which came out a few years ago. So I'm actually looking forward to this one that is coming out because Tangle Tower actually was pretty nice with all its puzzles and use of detective work. So when they announced that a new one was coming out, I actually jumped at the chance to try out this demo. The only problem I had with Tangle Tower was the fact that you couldn't really, out of the lineup of suspects, point out, okay, this was the person that did it. Essentially, after you solved all the puzzles, it kind of just played out who the villain was. And even though I kind of knew who the villain was going to be, I was sad that it played out the way that it did. Now, with Mermaid Mask, I did like the new setting and what the actual game looks like it's going to be in a submarine underwater. With the announcement that it's coming soon, there isn't an exact date at this moment in time, but we'll see what happens in the future. Next one up is Neo Junk City. This one is part point and click adventure, part shooter, part racer, and all mystery. As you play a futuristic robot that had gone in for repairs, probably due to a previous issue, you're thrown into a world where the scientist that was taking care of you all of a sudden shows up dead when you were turned off and turned back on again. Now it's your job to piece together what in the world happened. Was it you that killed this scientist or was it someone else? The part that actually surprised me about this game was moments where you have choices. Now, as far as with those choices, if they are going to matter later in the game, I'm unsure, but it looked like depending on your choices that they in the short term had direct consequences or helpful features. I also like the fact that you can hide out, dodge bullets, shoot your enemies. There's a lot of little things here and there that I think this game actually does well. And it actually might be something that will be interesting when it comes out the fourth quarter of this year. Overall, I think it's something to check out, and it's really raises the question, are you a robot that has gone against your programming, or are you one that is going to follow society's rules? The next game, Wonder Stars, I will have to say was probably one of the most surprising games that I played. Using references that clearly seem to be from old school Dragon Ball or even Ultimate Muscle, it's a world where everyone fights and is looking for a chance at this fighting tournament. Gameplay wise, there is an RPG element where you utilize words to fight against your opponent. Even the adjectives that you associate to words can actually have different effects as you go about in defeating your opponents. Now, all things change when you find out that you have a piece of a map to a treasure that's in the galaxy and the probability that that map can lead you to a long lost brother of yours. You set out into the stars to find both the map, your family, and probably a little bit more trouble than you think it's going to be worth. This demo was, I believe, about 2 hours or so long. So if the demo itself was about that long, I'm actually looking forward to seeing how the game is going to be. And it even looks like different levels have replayability to where you can go back in the level even after you've upgraded yourself and see if you can do it again at an even quicker time. This one seems to be coming out the beginning of August, and I believe it's going to be a fairly good one once it's released. So check out the demo when you get the chance, because it's definitely something to look into. The next game, Dispatch, I believe is probably the #1 game that a lot of people are looking forward to seeing. Although it's only slated to come out sometime this year in 2025, it's gotta be the most anticipated game on this list. I believe the demo itself was only about 30 minutes long, but with the different choices in this game, if I remember correctly, the developers of this game have previous work in a lot of different Telltale games. And if you are one that knows previous Telltale games and how they have all the different choices, then this is definitely something you're going to want to flock to. The goal of the game is to send heroes out and you dispatch them to different events, both heroes and villains. Now, of course, you want to correspond the skills to said villains/heroes to coincide with the different events when people are calling the dispatch for different emergencies. And as long as you complete their goals, then you get level ups with your said heroes. They get more experience and different abilities as time goes on. So it has both the element in the dispatch part of the game, but also when you're off the clock, it looks like a lot of the decisions that you make are going to matter the relationships of the people around you. Overall, like I said, I believe this is probably the one game that a lot of people are looking forward to once it's finally released. Now, once this finally gets a release date, it wouldn't surprise me if it was later this year, probably near the holiday season, but I think this is definitely one that you should wishlist now if you haven't already. Now, the next one I played was called Ball Pit. Now, this one, if you didn't see the Devolver Digital Showcase, was the whole showcase. They really just talked about this one game, which normally they kind of branch off into multiple different games, but this year was different. But I will have to say, Ball Pit, when playing the demo, actually was a lot of fun as a roguelike game where you go into the pit and utilize different power-ups and different types of balls to bounce around and defeat your enemies. Different balls that you get have different power-ups, and they can combine together to either upgrade or even evolve into something even greater. And as each level, you go against different bosses as you reach deeper and deeper into the pit. And then afterward, your goal is to try to rebuild Balltopia as you create a village and get wood, get wheat, create different buildings to give you different abilities, different characters. Overall, as a roguelite, I think this is actually pretty fun. Even though that this demo only really showcased the first level, it seemed like there was a lot more that's going to be happening in the future. I will have to say it's probably like the sleeper hit of this list of demos that I've noticed. Next one up is The Case of the Worst Day Ever. This one is just like The Rise of the Golden Idol or the Golden Idol series. You may think because of the style that it's like a watered down version of those style of games where you basically find the words that people are giving you and use those words and clues to find out what happened and transpired in that moment. This one I thought would be a watered down version of that, more like a kid version, and honestly it's not. The only real difference is its style of comic book looking, almost like a 90s cartoon. Your goal is to find out why each member of the family is sad, and it plays out their events for the day. Of course, once you solve said event, they end up getting happier. Now, my fear is the fact that this might be a short game because after the family members are happy, it seems like that might be the end of the game. Demo itself covered maybe about 3 characters, and it looks like there might be just 9 or so characters overall. I'm hoping once this finally is released that I am wrong and that there's a lot more that you get to do. Otherwise, I would add this to my wish list just to kind of see how this plays out when it gets released later this year. But if you do like that style of puzzle-like games like the Golden Idol games, I would say to go ahead and pick this up and see how it turns out. Another game I played was called The Lost and Found Company. This type of game is a Where's Waldo-like hidden object game, but it has a little bit more than just that. Of course, there's the find so-and-so type deal, look around this big open area with crowded people and so much that you gotta look around, click on things, maybe clicking on one thing leads to another thing. There was funny and quirky characters. I think what's going to bring the longevity of this game is that it has a customizable area, like a customizable office where you can purchase equipment, furniture. From what I can gather, you can look at other people that have played this game and what their office looks like and kind of create your own office and then send it out there for others to look at. So I can see those type of people that would like the customization of the office and the way that it will look and try to make different varying aspects of it. And with a lot of the levels, there's a lot of replayability as you do different challenge modes. So there's a lot here, even in the demo itself. So once this game actually comes out, I think it's going to be something that with its varying parts, there's going to be something for everyone. Right now, it's slated to come out in 2025. So wishlist this now so you can kind of see what's going to happen in the future. The last game I played was called Away From Home. This one was a RPG rhythm-based game, and it reminds me of the old school, like Super Nintendo pixel-like RPG games, but instead of the turn-based aspects that you would find from those, it uses a rhythm-based style to where you attack your opponent, defend against them, or even use an item in the middle of the battle. In the demo, it didn't really showcase a lot of the minigames, but if you see the actual videos on the Steam page, it shows a lot of little funny, quirky things. You play as a young girl that has no problem starting a fight. I'm actually surprised by this one that it could be a very funny, quirky type of RPG game. The soundtrack from the actual demo seemed pretty nice, so I'm wondering if the full game is probably going to be like a sleeper like Undertale, where it's going to have some memorable soundtracks you end up playing after playing the game. Optimistic that this one may be something that's going to be interesting to see the range of characters, and like I said, maybe have an Undertale aesthetic of the music and gameplay once it fully gets released. Slated to come out in October 22nd of this year. We shall see how things turn out when it actually comes out and how long of an RPG it's going to be. So here it is, 8 games that I played that I think is something that you guys would actually be interested in. Yes, I did play more than just 8 games, but these were kind of some of the top ones that I thought will be worth mentioning. And no, I'm not sponsored by any of these. These are just ones from my own observation that I played that I thought might have been worth mentioning. I think the later part of the year is actually going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot to play and a lot to look at. Tell me what you guys played during the Next Fest. Maybe you had seen or played something that caught your interest. But I am looking forward to a lot of different ones here just to see if they are going to be worth my time, money, and energy. And of course, to see if they'll be out by the holiday season. Hopefully no delays on any of these, but we shall see. Regardless, that's all I got for this. Hope you guys had a great day, great night. Wherever you are in the world, please be safe, take care, and Lord willing, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.